Hi, I'm Kitty Feldy. We continue our series highlighting episodes that feature books that have been banned or challenged. This week, it's Walter Dean Meyer's tale of a kid on trial for murder called Monster. In 2021, parents in Signal Mountain Middle High School in Tennessee complained about mature language and sexual content in some 7th grade reading club selections. In response, a teacher told parents she was removing Monster from the reading list. Myers reacted to book bans by saying, "I think that most often people wanting to censor books are well-meaning and concerned about the welfare of their children. But I suggest that children will be exposed to the world in spite of their efforts, and that exposure is best handled in a school setting. I write to establish the humanity of the children I identify as my major audience. I'm not trying to push any boundaries." So give a listen as a group of readers from Washington, D.C. discuss the book and make up your own mind.
It's the book club for kids.
It's a book club for kids.
It's the book club for kids.
It's the book club for kids podcast.
Hi, I'm Kitty Feldy. This week we tackle a tough book. Monster is Walter Dean Meyer's story about a young man on trial for murder.
No matter what anybody says, I know you're innocent, and I love you very much.
That's our celebrity reader, actor Larry Powell. Our readers from Kramer Middle School in Washington, D.C. say the hero of the book was on a quest to find his place in the world.
In jail, he still didn't know who he was or what to do. So that's even worse. You're somewhere you don't want to be, looking for who you truly are.
The late writer Walter Dean Myers said the book is about choices.
He knows that certain things are wrong, he shouldn't do them. But when these conflicts come up, when he's challenged, which one does he go with?
This is the Book Club for Kids, the podcast where kids talk about books. We'll tell you how you can be on the show a little later on, but first, let's meet our readers.
Hello, my name is Zaquan. My name is Marjay.
My name is Maven, and we're all 8th graders at Kramer Middle School in Washington, D.C.
Monster is about a black man who is 16 years old and might be going away for jail for his entire life. It's about a boy that is in a robbery and is waiting to be tried.
Who's our main character?
Steve is like you said, 16-year-old boy. He wants to be a movie director.
Is he a nice kid, a not nice kid? I mean, he's on trial for murder, but what else do we know about him?
He fell in with the wrong crowd because before he went to school every day, got his education, and then one day he got to high school, and he fell in with the wrong people, and they grew up from there. And one day, Bobo convinced him to rob a convenience store with him, and he did, and he got caught, and Bobo got caught, and now they're on trial, and then they killed somebody. But just because you hang with bad people, it didn't mean he was a bad person himself. He just chose to do something wrong on that day. He didn't know they was killing somebody. He had no intentions of murder. He was the lookout.
I don't think he was a bad kid. I just think he wanted to fit in with other people, try to be something he's not, like a cool kid.
The book is written in a odd style. How would you describe it?
It's wrote like a script.
Have you read screenplays before?
Yeah. Our 8th grade teacher, Ms. Ramble, our first book was in the script format.
And how does that compare to prose, which you usually get when you open up a book? Is it easier to read, more difficult to read? How's it different?
It's easier to read because it got the character's name on what they're saying. That it says O'Brien in his line, and then it says Steve in his line. I think it's easy for me to read too because it's like when you're in a classroom, everyone can participate. Everyone gets a character, and you make the book come to life.
So did you guys read it that way, where everybody played one of the characters?
It was fun. I was O'Brien.
I think you'd be a really good attorney. What about you? Do you think it's an easier way to read it?
Yes, way easier because you know what to say and how to say it.
Mm-hmm. How do you know what the scene is like? Because that's what you get in prose.
It's a, quote unquote, it say in the book, the guard started with the smirk. It got directions and lines of what we're supposed to be doing, like a play.
So they were stage directions.
Very specific thing that let you know where you are, and it gives you background information so you know how to play the character.
So some of the book is written just like you guys said, like a screenplay, but there's he does 2 or 3 other things in there. What other kinds of storytelling does he use to tell the story? Did you notice anything?
Mm-hmm.
Say what?
Like a diary.
Why would he include a diary in addition to the screenplay version of the story?
Diaries are sentimental and secretive, and it's like he's telling you this, but on the inside he's like, man, I'm breaking down, this and this and this, I can't do this, da-da-da-da. He's thinking about this, and it's like, dang, it's really giving us the deeper thought.
Oh, he write as a diary to let people know that how it all went down.
Well, let's hear a scene from the book where Steve's mother visits him in jail.
Mama came to see me. It's her first time, and she tried to explain to me why she hadn't been here before, but she didn't have to. All you had to see were the tears running down her face, and the whole story was there. I wanted to show strong for her, to let her know that she didn't have to cry for me. The visitor's room was crowded, noisy. We tried to speak softly, to create a kind of privacy with our voices, but we couldn't hear each other, even though we were only 18 inches away from each other, which is the width of the table in the visitor's room. "Do you think I should have got a black lawyer?" she asked. "Some of the people in the neighborhood say I should have contacted a black lawyer." I shook my head. It wasn't a matter of race. She brought me a Bible. The guards had searched it. I wanted to ask if they had found anything in it. Salvation, grace maybe, compassion. She had marked off a passage for me and asked me to read it out loud. "The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore my heart greatly rejoiceth, and with my song will I praise him." "It seems like you've been in here so long," she said. "Some guys have done a whole calendar in here," I said. She looked at me puzzled and then asked what that meant. When I told her that doing a calendar meant spending a year in jail, she turned her head slightly and then turned back to me. The smile that came to her lips was one she wrenched from someplace deep inside of her. "No matter what anybody says," she reached across the table to put her hand on mine, and then pulled it back, thinking a guard might see her. "No matter what anybody says, I know you're innocent, and I love you very much." And the conversation was over. She cried, silently. Her body shook with the sobs. When she left, I could hardly make it back to the cell area. No matter what anybody says. I lay down across my cot. I could still feel Mama's pain, and I knew she felt that I didn't do anything wrong. It was me who wasn't sure. It was me who lay on the cot, wondering if I was fooling myself.
You guys talked about how our main character, Steve, is a good person who made a bad decision. How do we judge people? I mean, how do we judge whether or not a person is a good person or not?
With this specific scenario, you can't really judge whether he's a good person or not because you're looking at the incident. You're not really looking at him as a person. You're looking at what he did.
Can you separate what we do from who we are?
Yes. People make mistakes. Lots of them.
Yeah, people make mistakes because I feel like he like went to school, got education, but he just wanted to be like everybody else and try to get like a name for itself, like, you know, try to be cool and fit in. But he wound up getting caught, and now he on trial.
How hard is it to fit in middle school?
Oh nah, you just don't hang with nobody.
You mean you're a loner?
Yeah, you don't hang with nobody. You can't trust everyone. Yeah, I don't do that.
That's a hard way to be.
Me personally, I've learned what he said. You gotta sometimes be by yourself, because my whole life I've worried about being liked, because, teasing and stuff. So it took a while for me to learn to get there, just stay to yourself, low key. It's not easy, but it's not hard, because once you get to know the right people and you get to expressing yourself and you get to speak out, people want to be your friend because you like to speak out on behalf of not just your own but other people.
What do you mean by right people?
Like people who have high expectations for themselves. Like they want to be something in life.
And how do you find those people?
You'll catch those kind of people in class doing their work every day, here on time.
Do you ever get teased for being that kind of kid?
Sometimes you might get a little bit of backlash, like, oh, you think you know everything, you're the teacher's pet, this and this and this. And then other times, it's like, oh, you're smart, you can do my homework. It's hard because when you're in school, even if you don't choose to be there yourself, people put you in a category.
What category do the kids put you in?
Oh, I'm laid back. I'm cool. I be coolin'. I don't mess with nobody. I stay to myself.
And nobody messes with you?
I might talk to people, but nah, I just stay to myself, do my own thing.
And what do people categorize you as?
They might categorize me as the teacher's pet or something like that, because if you was to come to the school and you would see me, I do this for this teacher, that for this teacher, help the main office, and under all of that, I still do my work.
Well, do you think it's harder to be somebody like you or somebody like Steve in the book? Because he seemed like he was searching for where he fit in his school.
It's harder to be Steve because it's like he was looking for sanctuary, like, oh, these are my friends, they're not going to be in trouble. Then boom, something bad happens. It's like he was searching for himself, but with the incident, he never found it. And in jail, he still didn't know who he was or what to do. So that's even worse. You're somewhere you don't want to be, looking for who you truly are.
I was just about to say, yeah, it's harder to be Steve because he tried to, he was his own person at one time, and then he just fell in and got in a lot of trouble, and now he locked up in jail.
Was the book realistic to you?
Yes, because it was specific details that had me, like the judge said this and the jury said that, and he got convicted for this. And at the end of the book, it actually said it was a true story. Yeah, I feel like it's real. Things like this happen on a daily basis. It could happen to anybody, honestly. You just be in the wrong place at the wrong time, or just because you hang with this person, they think you're with this. It could happen to you, or it could happen to me.
I feel like it's like a true thing because it's happened to somebody I know. He had straight A's, but he got caught up in robbery, and now he got locked up. He just got released right now, like a couple weeks ago.
Let me ask you this then. I mean, how does that affect you in your choices?
Oh man, I'm starting to act like him, making bad choices, getting in trouble, and it's not good.
What can you do to change that?
Stop being in trouble, go to class on time, finish all my work, turn on my work in, homework, stuff like that. Stay off the streets. I'm exposing myself.
Well, why do you do it? I mean, not why do you expose yourself, but I mean, why do you make the choice? Why do we all make the choices we make?
Because everybody's not perfect.
Say that?
Because everybody's not perfect.
Well, I don't think any of us are perfect, but
Yep. Some people think they have to do some things to get certain places. But I'm comfortable being myself. Honestly, I don't follow anybody. I don't really think I'm the best person to follow because I'm still working on myself. But
well, how'd you get so confident?
I had to build it. It was hard, but I did it.
Writer Walter Dean Myers said the story for Monster began in a courtroom.
It was a very sad scenario. There was a defendant at one table and his lawyer and the two people from the prosecutor's office at the other table. I was the only spectator. And the trial was moving along, and this kid was up for attempted murder. And then all of a sudden, there was a big noise from outside the courtroom. And what's that? And the judge stopped the trial. And the guard looked outside and said, oh, it was just the kids getting out of school from across the street. Such a sad thing, because this kid was young enough to be going to that school. And I'm saying, here's a kid who was innocent maybe 3 months ago, and now he's facing perhaps a lifetime in jail. And I said, I have to do something about these kids. And this was the book. He's a young man who has multiple cognitions. He knows a number of things. He knows that to live in the inner city and do nothing, you can be accused of being a punk. He knows that he wants to assume an identity as a man. He knows that certain things are wrong, he shouldn't do them. But when these conflicts come up, when he's challenged, and there are 2 or 3 things he knows, which one does he go with? Very often, he will go with the easiest one, and that's a problem.
Did this book remind you of anything else you've read before?
The newspaper.
I don't find it similar to other books that I read.
I say, yeah, I only hear stuff like this in the news because this isn't the type of book I would usually go for, because I don't really like sad things like this. But this is a good book. It's actually one of my favorite books. I like it.
Well, you played the defense attorney in class. Do you have any interest in becoming an attorney yourself?
If I don't become an actress, I do want to go to law school and become a lawyer, because I feel like I fit the part perfectly.
I think I would agree. You know, you said it was a difficult book to read, but did you like it?
Mm-hmm. Because I could relate to it, because it happened. It had happened.
I could relate to this book because my uncle was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and the police thought that he did some bad things, but it wasn't him. He was actually coming home from work, and they sent him to jail, and he was wrongfully convicted. It kind of touched me in a spot because my father had went to jail for robbery, but it's different because I know the person so deeply, and I know that the person actually did it. So it's like, in this book, it's like, I feel bad for him, and it's like, I'm hoping that he gets out. Because, you know, my father did.
I've had people scream at me, you know, that he was guilty, he should have gone to jail. I've had people say he should never have been tried. If he wasn't black, he wouldn't have been tried. But it comes, I mean, it's a really good feedback. I really love it, you know. There's a scene at the end of the book wherein Steve is elated that he's won this case, and he turns to Mrs. O'Brien, and she turns away. That is the scene that gets the most mail of any book I've ever done. When people get to the end of a book, they want to feel, yes, okay, I can see why this ending has happened. And now he's found not guilty, but then this one person turns away from him. They're shaken, well, maybe I'm not right.
Would you recommend this to somebody else?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will. It's an interesting book, and you'll get caught up in it if you keep reading it.
Mm-hmm. It's like a mystery. It's like, keeps you on the edge of your seat. It's like, all right, it's time to put the book down. It's like, no, what happens next? I think kids in general will be interested to read this book and probably be at the edge of their seats.
What age group do you think is appropriate to read this book? In other words, how old do you think you have to be to read this book?
12.
Yeah, 12 and up.
So the hardest question, although you guys said this wasn't such a hard question, what's your favorite book and why?
Holes. I love that book. it's like interesting. Like one day the boy's a zero, and he was kind of like off, but he was a good person. He got tired and ran away.
Tell me why this story spoke to you.
Zero got sent to the it's like a military, a boot camp thing. He got sent there because he had took some shoes. He thought it was free, so he just took it.
My favorite book is Chains by Lauren House Anderson because it teaches about slavery and how black and whites treated each other back in the day and how blacks was chained up to boats and shipped away to work this place and that place. And it just intrigued me.
And we should say that it's one of our favorite books, too. And we did an episode on Chains and did an interview with the writer, Lori Hulse Anderson. And we'll put a link on it at our website, bookclubforkids.org. All right, favorite book?
Honestly, I don't know. Not many books really grab my attention. And for this one to do that, it makes me want to read it again. That's why I like this book. I don't really have a favorite book besides this, honestly.
What about you, Larry? What's your favorite book?
One of my favorite books is a play called The Piano Lesson, written by the great August Wilson, who is one of the most important American playwrights of our time. This play actually won a Pulitzer Prize for drama, and is one of the most powerful plays you'll ever read. It's about a family. It's about a brother and a sister fighting over a family heirloom. And the language, the characters, the world of the play is so vibrant, it's so beautiful, and so poetic and honest at the same time that it just shakes you to the core, page after page after page. I encourage you to read it. It changed my life. I'm sure it will impact yours as well.
Do you have a favorite book or a favorite play? Want to be on the Book Club for Kids podcast? It's easy. All you have to do is record yourself on the voice memo app of a smartphone and tell us your first name, the grade and school where you go to school, and the name of your favorite book and why you love it. And then email the audio to us here at kitty@bookclubforkids.org. That's kitty@bookclubforkids.org, and we will put you on a future episode. This episode is funded in part by the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation, dedicated to advancing the education of exceptionally promising students who have financial need, and by the Nora Roberts Foundation, and the D.C. Commission on the Arts and Humanities. Thanks this week to our producer, Ilse Setziel. Jonathan Jensen composed our theme music, and Emma Steinkeller designed our logo. Thanks to the estate of Walter Dean Myers and the De Fiore and Company Literary Agency for sharing the audio interview with Mr. Myers. Thanks as well to our celebrity reader, Larry Powell, and to our readers this week, Zaquan, Marjay, and Maven, and their librarian, Patrick Ebel, at Kramer Middle School in Washington, D.C. We have a free newsletter for teachers, parents, and librarians full of free tips about how to turn kids into lifelong readers. You can sign up at the website, bookclubforkids.org. And if you want to find a way to talk to your kids about civics, well, check out our other podcast, The Fina Mendoza Mysteries. It's an episodic show that follows the adventures of the 10-year-old daughter of a congressman who also solves mysteries inside the U.S. Capitol. There are teacher's guides, companion books, and a facts behind the fiction blog. The books are in English and Spanish, and you can find out more at the website, ChesapeakePress.org. That's the Fina Mendoza Mysteries, winner of the 2024 Latino Book Awards. I'm Kitty Feldy. Thanks so much for listening.